Okay, I'm here to talk about some really important stuff. You guys may have an idea about it if you've been on social media or been on Twitter specifically, but we're talking about maybe a connection to Akainu. We're also talking about Bonnie's possible father, and it's already confirmed, Vivre cards, etc., etc. So some good old news, and we might get into some comments at the end. But first, we are in a brand new arc, and we've time traveled 500 years into the future. So with all this new technology Vegapunk is about to introduce, we're all going to need an upgrade, and today's sponsor is the perfect way to put you in the future as well. Opera GX. No other browser gives you the freedom that Opera GX does. You can pick from some of the best special themes, wallpapers, and prepare everything from scratch and pick colors you like the most. Plus, you can upload your own background photos. I already showed you guys some of the great animated anime wallpapers, but there's still tons of them worth mentioning. For example, they've got Attack on Titan, new Demon Slayer wallpapers featuring Nezuko and Tanjiro, Naruto, Spirited Away, Hunter x Hunter, and One Piece, of course. Opera also offers the GX Corner, a front page dedicated to keeping you up to date on gaming news and updates. Also, are you tired of switching from your phone to PC on social media? Use Opera's simple taskbar to have an easier experience while gaming or watching vids. Also, if you're trying to binge watch a really long series, Opera GX has a feature for you to separate videos from your browser into a floating adjustable video frame. Watch streams or videos and work or study at the same time with this feature. It's really simple. Just click the button on the left, marked with the red circle on the photo, while watching, and the windowed version of the video will follow you in each open tab. It works for Crunchyroll as well. You're probably wondering, what about my music? Well, with Opera, you can log into Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music directly from the sidebar in Opera GX. The player lets you keep your favorite streaming services in one place. Whenever you start streaming the video or audio in your browser tab, the player automatically pauses and then automatically resumes once the tab is finished. If you still love all your old cookies, quickly import all of your browsing history, bookmarks, and cookies from your old browser in just a few clicks. From gamers to anime fans, no one should be without the Opera GX, Twitch and Discord integration, award-winning design, and a built-in VPN, and all completely for free. Download now, please, with the link in the description. So, in One Piece Chapter 1061, there's been pertinent information revealed from a native Japanese speaker, and someone that I get a ton of information from in translations, and that is Sandman_AP, a very credible source. Every time Oda, anything relating to One Piece drops or has an interview, Sandman typically is the first person to drop it. And not that far behind is Arthur from the Library of Ohara, two very credible sources that have been talking about specific things in regard to Akainu, and maybe, just maybe, Oda is hinting that this person could be his daughter. Now, who am I talking about? Who is this person that could probably be Akainu's daughter? Well, the person is actually Hibari. As you guys know, in Chapter 1061, we went to the G14 naval base. In that chapter, we saw some familiar characters, Tashigi, Mocha, even Groose. Even though we didn't know who he was already in a cover story. But we were also introduced to new characters like Doll and Hibari. Of course, Dr. Vegapunk, but we're talking about Hibari right now. She's the Navy HQ commander of SWORD. You may be saying, what indication did we have that this person could be connected to Akainu? As an English speaker, you probably would not get this or care about this. Well, you wouldn't get it. You'll care about it, but you would not get it at all based on just the translations, because once we get the information, it's already translated to English and it just looks like regular English to us. But there's a hidden meaning behind her speech. I'll use first Sandman AP. So Sandman in one of his latest posts says, in the latest chapter, Hibari's Japanese speech style is inevitably lost in translation. It is called Hiroshima dialect, the same as Akainu. Considering only these two characters speak that dialect in One Piece, all these characters in One Piece, these are the only two. Oda might be implying Hibari is Akainu's daughter or something. Now, gentlemen and ladies, as the resident Akainu stan, I got a little excited because I'm one of those people, I adore Akainu. Mostly because of competence and just being savage. Being one of the few Marines that really tries to get the job done. Does not matter what the hell else is going on. And he has an epic devil fruit. And of course, the voice acting is spectacular. And it's one of the most raw characters in the story. Sandman is somewhat saying Oda could be implying Hibari is Akainu's daughter or relative, because these are the only two people who speak in Hiroshima dialect. So for me not being Japanese, I'm wondering, what the hell is Hiroshima dialect? All right, is it like patois? Is it like Ebonics? Is this hood speech in Japanese? I wasn't sure, so I had to do some digging. Well, at first I tried the comment section on Twitter, was not much help at all. Evolved, or you could say devolved, into conversations about Hibari and Kobe. Like, can you imagine how Akainu would feel if Hibari is actually his daughter and she fell in love with Kobe? Yeah, I'm not sure how well that wedding would go over. But also, I'm sure you guys have heard the theories about Akainu being a part of Sword. The cover art of chapter 592 with him having a sword on his right arm, meaning everything that he did up to that point was a front, and he's trying to bring the world government to its knees because we know they don't really get along. Somewhat far-fetched based on Akainu's personality, but people are saying this guy could really be a good guy underneath all that shit. You're gonna have to convince me of that. Either way, I was not satisfied with the information that was there. I love Sandman. I, of course, think this information is relevant and true, but I needed another source. I had to verify it somewhere else. So I reached out to my guy, Arter, from the Library of Ohara. And if you guys have never been to the Library of Ohara, it is literally an encyclopedia of One Piece, from timelines to Viver cards to SBS translations. It's all there. So I reached out to Arter. He speaks Japanese as well. So I'm like, Arter, what's going on here? What is Hiroshima dialect? Is this significant? Does it matter? Or are we overthinking this? Because Arter is typically the person that would bring things back down to earth, because sometimes I go a little crazy. Most of us in the community, we get a little hype. We're like, oh my God, Akainu, Hibari's his daughter, confirmed. So I reached out. Maybe I need somebody to ground me a little bit, reel me back in. This is what Arter says. Hiroshima dialect, as the name indicates, is the dialect of Japanese that is used in the Hiroshima prefecture. Like many countries, Japan is marked by several different regional dialects depending on the area, which in Japanese changes a lot of the written grammar. Akainu also uses the dialect, so Japanese fans have been speculating for the past few days if the two are related in some way, given how Kobe is already connected to Akainu, though it's mostly speculation for now. So shout out to Arter again. We'll come back to him a little bit later, but he's basically saying it's like everyone in the US, but you have different accents, different dialects, different words people say that you can tell where people are from. They can tell when somebody's from New York and they got much. You thought I was feeling you? Right, then you got Detroit, then you got Chicago, then you got New Orleans, right? Then you got the DMV. Typically based on things people say, the different dialect, somebody from B-more, you can typically tell where people are from. For the most part, that's what he's talking about. This person speaks like she's from the same place Akainu is from. At least they're from the same place. And that may be far-fetched to jump and say that that's his daughter, but they're from the same place. But considering these are only two people, it's not in there for no reason. Let's keep an eye on Hibari and her, again, being so fond of Kobe. It may be some beautiful irony that Oda is throwing in, or just a way to make Akainu uncomfortable. They already call him sweaty for everything he does with Shanks and being quote-unquote scared of Shanks. I think this would make him 100% more sweatier. Again, the funny thing is, people were speculating that Bonnie could be Akainu's daughter. She was shown in this chapter, and of course I'm referencing Akainu when he went and pulled up on Blackbeard and he saw Bonnie. He was like, yo, chills went through my spine when I heard you escaped. I'm so happy to have you back. So people were assuming that that could be his daughter. This has more credence than that. I think both a bit far-fetched, but yeah, this is something to consider. The next thing after that was trending, people actually did some more digging and found some sketches from Bonnie's Viver card that were shared in 2018. And in the middle of the sketch, it had some kanji. And the translation was, I will let Vegapunk restore my father. I'm like, well, was this always here? Is this something that we always knew? Here's the thing. After we found out about Bonnie and her connection to Kuma, we all speculated it could be her dad. I'm speculating that could be her son. There's so many things going around based on who this person is, because we're not really sure of Bonnie and what's her true identity. Is she Connie or is she Bonnie? Why does she eat so much? Is it to maintain the form that she has? What is Bonnie's true nature? And these were some of the sketches, and that dialogue made things a bit interesting. So just like I reached out to Arter for information on the Hiroshima dialect, I'm like, yo, we're gonna go back to the well one more time with this topic at least. Arter, is there any credence to what's going on here? That's what Arter says. He says, Oda's sketches that were shared on Bonnie's Viver card from 2018, it does include a note that said, wants to make Vegapunk restore her father. This would imply that Oda had the idea that Bonnie is Kuma's daughter and that's what she wants out of Vegapunk. But the problem is, we do not know if this is a scrapped idea or not, okay? After all, it would be a bit odd if they let this slip up in a Viver card release, but either way, it could be an honest mistake and they revealed it there by accident, which is totally possible. Or it's a scrapped idea that won't be used in the story, with the truth being very different, and that's why they shared it. We can't yet say for certainty, so I take this with a slight grain of salt, even though it's worth considering. So that's my guy Arter. He speaks Japanese, he does all the translations. What do I think about this? There could be some credence to this. She obviously has a connection to Kuma. Would they reveal this in the Viver card? It is not that crazy for them to slip up or them to throw something in there and say, ha, did you guys notice this? It's pretty obvious. Him being her dad, not that crazy. Here is my theory. Kuma is her father, but not her legitimate father. Kuma took her in. It's something like Shanks and Uta. This person is quote unquote her dad. Here's something that's prevalent in One Piece. People that are quote unquote related to you, but not by blood, but you refer to them as dad, as mom, as brother. These people have raised you up in that way and you view them like that. Shanks and Uta, obviously. Luffy, Ace, and Sabo with Dadan, or their own relationship. Nami, Bellemere, Chopper, and Dr. Hirudeuk. Being relatives in One Piece, it goes deeper than just blood. So I 100% believe Kuma could be Bonnie's dad, but not by blood. The perception of Kuma is that he was a tyrant back then. Maybe he was. Like I tell you guys, perception versus reality. What you expect is not what you're gonna get. What the world typically thinks of you is not who you are. It's a perception thing that Oda loves to play with. Hey, I want you to think this about this character, and once you meet him, it's gonna completely subvert your expectations. It happens time and time and time again. It's one of the genius things in One Piece story. So guys, with that being said, Hibari being Akainu's daughter might be a relative, or at least from the same place. That's the conservative opinion. I think it would be amazing if she was, because Kobe and how much she's fond of Kobe, and we know her dad does not like Kobe. That first dinner, I'm like, do we get introduced to Akainu's wife or girlfriend or maybe mama? I don't know. But then on the other hand, Bonnie, I do think she's related to Kuma in some way, but not by blood. Could legitimately be his daughter, but it's more prevalent typically for someone to be related to you, but not actually be your father. We can think about Law and Corazon, like Sengoku and Corazon. You have these relationships where you could think they are literally related, but it's just the bond that they have. That's where I am with it. Guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about this? Leave your theories below about Akainu and Hibari, but also Bonnie and Kuma. Do you believe this? Is this just a slip? Or are they just telling us straight up, yo, this is what it is. Take it with a grain of salt or don't take it at all. But yeah, give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BroggoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BroggoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you to my members. I appreciate you guys oh so much. Yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.